Press Start Podcast.
And welcome back to the Press Start Podcast. I'm your host Vic, aka Mr. Neverchone. This is episode number 117. Shout out to Master Chief 117 here with this episode here. But we do welcome back Scott, aka Scobie1.
Hey everybody, welcome back.
And Marshmallow Man took the words right out of my mouth. Mark the words, episode bigger than Master Chief himself. Welcome, Marshmallow. No Lunatic Oblivion this week due to unfortunate circumstances as well. Got to take care of the family, you know how that goes. But we do got some gaming news to dive into here at the end of the year. So anything new this week, Scott, for you?
No, not really. Just kind of a little bit of the same old, same old. Been hopping into the honor mode, for Baldur's Gate. That hurts.
Yeah.
Effectively, that effectively has cleansed the inside of my anus a few times now. But it's still fun. Still fun. And I keep trying to do some different builds this time around and all that good stuff. But yeah, other than that, nothing really totally new.
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, same here, man. Just kind of got through the week. I was trying to play some games as much as I could. Got through work and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, definitely nothing new. But yeah, let's go ahead and talk about what we've been playing this week. Don't really have much of a big list here for either of us. You are the leader here with four up compared to my two. I did play a little bit of Sea of Stars, trying to grind out that campaign. I know Marshmallow has joined my streams quite a few times, and we've been enjoying it, trying to get through and whatnot. I got stuck on a boss battle there for a second. I had to fight it like three times, got through it, but overall, I mean, the story just keeps getting better and better. Like it keeps unfolding more and more into it, and you're like, I'm invested. Like I need to get to the end. I need to see this through.
Mhm.
Let's save the world at this point. But yeah, Sea of Stars, great game. I understand why it has won indie game of the year. That makes sense to me. But the other game I did play this week is the opposite of a great game, and that's Modern Warfare 3. In the words of Judge from the Game Awards. Yeah, it's rough, man. Like just I'm like level 54 and I'm still trying to unlock shit that should have already been unlocked. Like otherwise, like to me, like what's the point of the leveling system now? Like I don't understand of leveling up in the game at
Yeah,
all
it
because you don't
unlocks
get
the
nothing out of it.
ability to unlock it. I mean, I understand it, but understanding does not equal like I do not condone it.
Right.
I'm just saying I get it. I'm not saying I like it
Yeah,
because I
because
think I'm level 63 right now, and I'm still like I'm trying to work on my high velocity rounds for my sniper.
yeah, it just
Uh,
makes no
yeah,
sense to me. Because especially like once they got rid of the old prestiging system, like there was no point to prestige in the game. Like I mean, you don't even get a choice. It just once you reach the max level, you're on to the next prestige. Like prestige, we're like prestiging. Like all right, I'm gonna reset everything and I'm gonna unlock everything again because I want to grind out and be miserable again.
yeah.
But you got rewards from that. You got extra creator
I'm ready to be
classes,
hurt
new
again.
emblems, new things, new camouflages, certain things like that. So like there was meaning behind leveling up before. Now it's like who gives a fuck? It's all about the
Yeah.
battle pass.
Thankfully, well, yeah, it is all about the battle pass. It's all it is the entire time. It's so annoying. It's all I keep hearing about in my loading that game is the fucking battle pass. I'm not buying it. Leave me alone. Yeah, but thankfully they did. Like when the original unlocking mode was like do your dailies, and you only had 3 dailies, but they added that like additional, just constant daily where it's like win matches
Yeah.
to
But that doesn't kick
earn
in until
more.
you finish
And
the first three. So who
no, it does
cares? Who cares
if
if
you
you
win.
win?
If you win, I was having ones that I was winning.
Yeah, okay. They
There
must
was
have
a
changed it
there was a
because
there was a
it
couple
wasn't.
that was like it was a get headshot like 7 headshots with SMGs, and I was trying to get that but doing it very poorly. But I was still getting the additional points for the winning in the search and destroy or kill confirmed and stuff like that.
Yeah.
At least from what I've seen, it doesn't wait until those three are done. As far as I'm aware, you could do none of them, and as long as you win, you're still getting a point.
Okay. So it looks like you did play a little bit of Warzone. Are you enjoying the new map? Is this like Verdansk? Like, tell
Oh,
me
it's
about it.
dog shit. It's
That
dog
bad?
shit. Yes. Yes, it is absolute. It's absolute dog shit. Um, but I love it. Just
It's dog
because
shit,
it's
but I love
Warzone. Yeah. At this point, they've effectively gaslit me enough into just being okay playing this game. Um, it's the loads are terrible. I mean, when you have a plane that's like skipping across the sky,
it.
like sometimes like it's just awful. Some of the mechanics are really weird. They brought a train back, but it's only like 5 carriages, and like if you're trying to run back up the train and trying to like hop, sometimes it just throws you off the fucking train.
Damn.
Uh,
And you can
Something
control the
ridiculous.
train this time around as well,
So
which
you
is
can
weird.
control the train. You can stop it or start it.
Oh yay.
You can hit the emergency brake in the back end, and that's about it. Or you
That's
can turn
whack.
it off
And they
from
were
around.
hyping this up. They're like,
Yeah,
you get to drive the train, and it's not
yeah,
really.
drive my ass.
Yeah.
But it's not total dog shit, but it feels like total dog shit because I was waiting for so damn long. Um, but it has its ups and downs, mostly downs. There's some ups there. It's still some of the map layout isn't terrible. Um, those are really the only pros.
Not much to go off of here, buddy.
Yeah, they brought like Strongholds are still back in it. It's okay.
It reminded me of the Harry Potter quote. He was like, "Yeah, we're looking for the Ravenclaw thing or whatever." Before they figure out what it was, and they're like, "We said we know it's in the castle. Do you know what it looks like? No. Do you know where it is?
No,
Nope." It sounds like the. He was like, "I understand it's not much to go off of." He was like, "That's nothing to go off of."
that's nothing to go off of. That's absolutely nothing to go off of.
And that's what it
Yeah,
sounds like here with Warzone. It just sounds like Warzone is Warzone.
yeah, yeah. Hopefully they'll take one out of Fortnite's playbook and just re-release Verdansk even for a limited time, so they can realize like, hey,
Well,
this is what people have wanted the whole fucking time.
yeah, I thought that was going to be like a limited release, kind of like how Fortnite did it. But apparently, the rumor is that when Treyarch releases Black Ops Gulf War or whatever the next one is this year, that their Warzone map is Verdansk. That'll be like the new big map, and I'm like, so you're reselling this content again?
Yeah,
Basically, I know,
for
I understand Warzone's free, but it's just like you're bringing us content that we already had. Where's the new
for
shit?
for full price.
Yeah,
For full price. It's like they keep charging us full price for giving us the same old shit, but they're not giving us the same old shit we want.
right.
And
Giving
that's
us
where I'm
everything
starting
but
to
what
draw
we want.
my. That's where I'm starting to draw the fucking line.
Yeah, it's definitely been rough. But let's talk about something that has been very successful, and that is Baldur's Gate 3. Tell me a little bit about your experience with the honor mode.
So yeah, it's just like Tactician, maybe a little bit harder there. There's a couple times I've gotten absolutely smacked. So far I was on my fifth character, and I made it about like I want to say like 4 hours into it, and then had a TPK again. At no point in my ventures, I'm trying to get that golden D20 marshmallow. I'm fucking trying. It'll kill me, but I'll get it. You best fucking believe. You bury me with my golden D20. But it's fun. It definitely adds a lot more like I want to say like intensity around it because at no point have I had like where I've just lost a character. If I start losing one, then they just dominoes. Um, but yeah, it sucks. It's a little defeating, um, but that's the point.
Yeah.
You do have the option, like, so the one time I did have a TPK, I was really interested in continuing my Eldritch Knight. So I did continue, but it just loads you into custom difficulty, and that's it.
Yeah.
You don't get to continue your honor mode. Like you have to delete that file if you have a total party wipe.
Yeah.
So it definitely adds that little bit of we call it a pucker factor,
Yeah.
where you're just like, but like there was I think it was like my first playthrough. Um, I got off the Nautiloid, did all that good stuff. I went right into my camp, and then when I came back out of camp, no Shadowheart. Shadowheart's like the first person you find, and adds that additional piece of firepower. And so didn't have her, so it was just me. And then I ran into those 3 intellect devourers right in the beginning, and on the initiative roll, it was intellect devourer, intellect devourer, intellect devourer, me. And so I didn't even get a hit in. It just like I got swipe, done, exit. You gotta delete the game.
Damn.
You've lost. And I'm like, damn, dude, like you gotta be shitting me.
Yeah, that's brutal.
Um,
No, thank you.
yeah, yeah, and with the way it's been, it feels like what was that Tom Cruise movie where he lives the same day over and over again, in the war?
I know what you're talking about.
Edge of
I
Tomorrow,
think
I
it's
think it
Edge of
was.
Tomorrow. Yeah.
And so that's basically what it was. That's basically what it's been. It's just like, well, shit, and then just go back and be like, well, I didn't do that this time, so now I get to go further. Well, shit, and then
Well, shit.
you just keep parsing your way through it. But overall, it's fun. I mean, I'm still gonna play it. I'm still gonna try to get that golden D20. We'll see how it goes.
Is that the reward from like getting to the end?
Yeah.
That's it.
Yep.
So
What do you mean that's it?
you gotta
What do
go
you mean is
through.
that it?
You
It's a golden D20.
I don't give a fuck
Marsh-
what color it is. It can be
Marshmallow,
fucking.
get your boy. Marshmallow, get your boy.
It can be clear. It
Get
could
your
be
boy,
purple.
Marshmallow.
It could be pink. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, but now I do want to do a bunch of different playthroughs because I have seen like some statistics for end game stuff. Like people, there's usually about like there's three, generally two different ways you can go towards the end, and a lot of people have always been doing the good ending where you just kill the Nether Brain.
Hmm.
But there's also ones where you obviously you have a choice to take it for yourself, which apparently not a lot of people have done. And there's like a hidden pseudo third option if you play the Dark Urge,
Hmm.
which I didn't do before. That I might go back and do just because there's like 1% of players have done it.
Yeah, that's
So
crazy.
like we'll see. And I'm gonna start looking at
So
the achievements and see what I can
you
get.
talk to like you talk about these playthroughs like they're quick sessions, and I'm like looking at how long to beat, and it takes main story off 56 hours. But if you do some side stuff, you're looking at like 103 hours. So like you're just starting all these like random fucking sessions and never even getting
Absolutely.
to the end of any of them.
Absolutely. You just start them and then you're like, oh well, I'll go do this one for a little bit. I'll go do this one for a little bit. And like you just kind of
Yeah, I couldn't do that.
absolutely,
That's just not
absolutely.
my cup of tea.
Yes, it is ADD the game.
Yeah, nope.
It is absolutely ADD the game, and I know people who like haven't even finished Act One yet. They're like, yeah, I just keep starting a new character, and I'm like, God, like you got to do something here.
Right, that's a waste of time. Like I don't get it. It's like playing like a Call of Duty campaign. I know it's only like 2.5 hours or 2.5 minutes long, but like, and you get through the first mission, you're like, I'm gonna start it over
Yeah.
for no reason. I'm just gonna do it.
Yep. Yep.
I couldn't do it.
And I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that, but now I'm gonna do it with.
A
I'm
different
gonna do it
gun.
with him. I'm gonna do it with a different gun.
Yeah.
Different gun, different camo. Now I'm gonna do one as Ghost. Now I'm gonna do one as Captain Price.
Yeah. No, thank you. But yeah, man. Let's go ahead and move on from what we have been playing to talking about the upcoming game releases here. So we'll take a look at this
Yeah.
in just 1 second. All right, Scott. If you want to be the person who runs through the very short list here, because there's really not much going on this week, in regards to game releases.
Yeah, so no Roger this week, so unfortunately you have to hang out while I try to fumble through these. But really, there's two important dates this week, and that's going to be December 12th and December 14th. On December 12th, we have Bear and Breakfast coming out for PlayStation 5 and PlayStation 4. We have Hammerwatch 2 coming out for PlayStation 5 and the Switch. And then we have SpongeBob SquarePants The Cosmic Shake coming out for iOS and Android. That is the 12th. On the 14th, we have Grand Blue Fantasy versus Rising. See, I gotta do it at least once. That's gonna be coming out for PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4, and PC. We have House Flipper 2 coming out for PC, and then we have Pokemon Scarlet and Violet: The Hidden Treasures of Area Zero: The Indigo Disc. As if they couldn't find a longer title, but that will be coming out for the Switch on the 14th. So all in all, I mean, we're coming down the end of the year, probably not gonna be seeing very long lists
No, not at all.
until we start seeing some 2024s behind it. But that rounds out our week in upcoming games.
Yeah. So I'm personally not looking forward to any of these. But if I did had to pick one, it would have to probably be the Pokemon expansions. But I haven't even played the base game yet. Like I don't even own it, so like can't really base it off of that. But everything else, like it's either just re-releases of games that have already been out, or just nothing really that exciting.
That's a really weird way to say House Flipper too.
I know you're looking forward to that, especially on your
Damn
PC.
straight,
You're gonna
damn
be
straight.
maxing it out.
Yeah,
You're gonna build your dream home.
damn straight, and then sell it
And then
for
sell
my
it.
dream dollar amount.
Right. Yeah. Good luck with that. But yeah, man, that's all the game releases we got this week. We'll go ahead and move on here to our next section because gaming news is pretty packed because we're gonna recap the from the Game Awards with all the announcements. So let's go ahead and move on to the industry news. All right, Scott, if you want to kick it off here with the first bit of news here.
So I always feel like this is an ongoing theme because a lot of times I get some of the sad news that comes out for. I feel like nobody else wants to say it, uh, but Codemasters, an EA-owned company, is going to be laying off a lot of their employees. The actual number they haven't actually given yet, but we have seen some things that are saying mostly QA testers, which is a really unfortunate part. I know, as an employee who deals with QA, sucks. But like, you need QA. QA is not there to hurt you. They're there to help you and make you better. So seeing them be the bigger hit for the layoff kind of sucks. Looks a little bleak for the future.
Right. That doesn't help out with like building up hype for like the quality of the upcoming games because we already seen how bad, like say for instance, Battlefield 2042 was from EA. That was pretty bad, and BioWare over at EA has not been that great as of lately either. I mean, we had Anthem, Andromeda, hasn't really been looking good over there either. Like EA, I mean, if it wasn't for their sports games, like where would they really be in the grand scheme of things?
Yeah, I mean, and maybe that's why they got rid of mostly QA testers because they weren't fucking using them anyway. So yeah, and I'm gonna agree with Marshmallow. That fucking that jab at Anthem, that's not flying past the radar, buddy.
I
Don't
mean,
you dare!
it's
Don't you
arguably
dare,
it could be in the running for worst game of all time. Like it could easily be in that running in that category.
dude. Just get the fuck out of here. Go play. Go stop the stream. Fucking go. Just go eat shit. I
Go
don't
jump
know.
off a
Like,
bridge. I got it. Yeah, I
yeah,
understand.
yeah. Do me a favor. Go fuck your son.
Well,
Don't talk about
at
Anthem like
least I
that.
support it. I have it on the bookshelf behind me.
Yeah,
Word else I never
Anthem was
forget.
Anthem was the game we needed, but not at the time we needed it. If they would have just did it a little bit longer, and they just pumped a little bit more into like the storyline and some of the other stuff, man, we would have been playing it, and that would have won best ongoing game as opposed to Cyberpunk 2077.
So, other industry news here. Some more sad news. Unfortunate is that Twitch is shutting down operations in Korea, and this one kind of really surprised me because Korea is really big in the gaming industry. Why would you remove the operations there? So I really want to know what's going on behind closed doors. But Kick infamously tweeted out saying, "Hey, anybody who is a Twitch partner affiliate, doors are open. We're still operating over in Korea. No issues there."
We'll see you Monday.
Right. So yeah, sad news. Especially for all those content creators where that is their job. Like that is their job. Like through and through. That they're now losing it. Like I've seen a lot of people like outpouring like their emotions are like, I literally just lost my job. I literally can't afford anything anymore. I'm not gonna be able to live and do any of that kind of stuff. So I'm just like, that's rough. Yeah, I guess to say that it's too expensive to run it in Korea, but it's really interesting that like they're the only ones that are like it's too expensive, but like all of the other streaming platforms are like, come to us then. We have no issues.
Yeah, it doesn't pass the smell test.
It doesn't, and the fact that like what Twitch was doing was like taking more money away from the creators, and they're like, we still don't have enough money, even with these changes, and it's like, what are you guys doing over there on Twitch? And like, it sucks to like badmouth Twitch because right now we're live on Twitch as we speak. We are an affiliate with Twitch, and thankfully, North America has not been disserviced or whatever. So hopefully, Twitch is still around and it continues to flourish and gets better. If not, we might have to jump ship too, but only time will tell. But that is our short running news of the industry. So we'll go ahead and kick it over to our gaming news section. If you hear screams, please don't report. That's great. Um, so kicking off here to gaming news, I just want to kind of like run through recap the Game Awards. There was like asked ton. I think what I said at the end of the show last on this past Thursday, they about 60 games that they showcased.
Yeah,
So
it was unreal.
right. So we probably won't go into depth into many of them. If there's some of them that you, Scott, that you want to talk about specifically, we can definitely do that, and I'll do the same as well. But I'm just going to kind of run through from the website, from IGN's website, in the order that they have it. Here's the article if anybody's interested in following along or checking out any of the trailers that is on the website. But first one here on the list was Capcom announced the new Monster Hunter game known as Monster Hunter Wilds, and it's not coming until 2025. So we're already setting up 2025 to be a pretty big year. Obviously, we know GTA 6 is also releasing that year, so that is the first of many. But this one here next up here on the list, Scott, was pretty interesting because like we weren't expecting this, and like when it was coming, like when he was coming on the stage and using the whole door and this creepiness, you're like, what the fuck are we doing here, guys? And it was Hideo Kojima officially revealing his Xbox game project known as titled OD, Overdose, and he's this is in partnership with Jordan Peele, which was a huge fucking
Yeah,
surprise.
that was the part that just had everybody going, wait, hold up, uh, and watching that like team up was
Yeah,
the crossover we didn't know we needed.
right. It was really great. But what was interesting enough that I found out after the show was like that door that they were coming through, like the creepiness, the white and that light above it and stuff like that. That was actually taken from his game that actually never ended up releasing was PT, which is like a successor to like Silent Hill and all of those games from back in the day. Because PT became really famous for the demo that people were playing and stuff like that. And I was like, oh wow, that was an interesting nod. But like, is he teasing something? Is he like low key teasing something? Like we're working on OD, but PT is still in the works or whatever he wants to do.
Or is this kind of like the final culmination of what had happened with PT, and now he was able to pull all of that into OD,
Yeah,
get Jordan Peele in there, and just give us like the excellent narrative with like the things that were happening in PT. Like I don't know,
yeah, it'll
we'll
be
see.
interesting because like this is going to be like a game slash like movie or something like that. It's going to be like a really interactive like kind of movie or show. So we'll see how that comes about. Next up here on the list was God of War made a surprise appearance, and honestly, when this trailer was coming out, I was like, because it was like PlayStation, and I was like PlayStation Studios, I was like, oh, are we getting like a reveal maybe for like Wolverine? Because I called it before the show that that's what I was hoping to see, and then we were like, no, that's not Wolverine. Like, what is this shit? And it was like God of War Ragnarok DLC out next week, guys, and it's free. We're like, okay, like this is like a big win for PlayStation for once. And but it's interesting though that the free DLC title Valhalla is really just a roguelike adaptation to the game, and they just recently released this for The Last of Us as well. So I'm just like, are they on this whole roguelike trip? Like they're gonna make all of their games play exactly the same. Like I don't understand it, but maybe it's fun. Maybe people enjoy it. We'll see.
And that will be out on the 12th as well. We just didn't include that because it's not really like a new game.
Right.
But the DLC does come out on the 12th.
Now, big one that this was my highlight of the show. My mind was like fucking exploded. I was like, this is it. Like, and I'll talk about a story here in a second from the show, but Marvel's Blade is in development, has been announced over at Arcane Studios, and this is the guys that are behind the Dishonored and Deathloop, not the recently released Redfall, because that was Arcane Studios, their other one, but this is their main studio here, and I'm really looking forward to this. But the funny story was is that before Blade was announced, the game that was showcased before it was Skull and Bones. It finally got its release date, its new 13th different release date. I was like, how did we go from this all-time low and then hit this like peak
Right.
part of the show? Bam, just like that. And I was like, they can't mess this up. Like for the culture, they could not mess this game up at all. So,
That was a big one, and that one's really been causing a stir even after
yeah.
um, the awards ceremony. And man, people are just hype for this game.
Yeah. The interesting like question marks that everyone was curious about was like, is this going to be an Xbox exclusive game because it's owned by Arcane's owned by Xbox, and it wasn't said anywhere. But what was also interesting, like nowhere in the announcement or any of the trailers was Xbox's like logo even attached to it. So it's like, is Xbox like so scared to be attached to some of their projects and stuff like that? But overall, I think this was a big win for Xbox, even though they didn't want to attach their name to it.
I don't. Maybe that was more just because hey, maybe this won't be an exclusive, not because they're scared to attach their name to something. Because if there's ever a time to attach your name to something, like I mean, I think Blade is a good enough bet that you would put your branding on that shit.
Right.
Um,
And it seems like Xbox has a pretty big or close partnership with Disney as of lately because they also have the Indiana Jones games that is in the works, also from a Bethesda Studios
Fuck yeah, I
game
can't wait to
developer.
not play that.
You're not a big fan of the Indiana Jones
I love
franchise.
Indiana Jones. I'm not a big fan of like the last one.
that movie, the most
Really,
recent one.
really the last two, Dial of Destiny, and then Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. But I mean, Kingdom of the best thing that Dial of Destiny did was make Kingdom of the Crystal Skull watchable. It's really,
Okay,
really kind
I
of you
can't
kind of
say
get
I've
into
really
it.
seen many of them, but we'll definitely see. Yeah, Marshmallow. Yeah, the Lara Croft games are usually better
Yeah,
than Indiana Jones games, but
I'll agree with that.
it was also like interesting though because like Indiana Jones like before though were like in that time frame where they were trying to take movies and make video games, and that never ever translated really well. But now we're starting to see like a ton of them. I mean, look at all the Spider-Man games. Any Marvel, any superhero, for example, did that, and obviously we see Blade transitioning from movie to video game adaptation. So I'm really excited for that. They kind of describe it here as a mature single-player third-person game set in the heart of Paris. So I'm really looking forward to this. This is one of my most anticipated games in the next couple of years. This one kind of went under the radar, honestly, because it didn't seem as exciting, and then maybe it's because they did like a culmination trailer as opposed to like announcing each one of these games like throughout the show, maybe. But Sega announced that they have 5 new games in development, and these are all to like their throwbacks, like their classics, their go-tos, and it's not Sonic, guys. It is Jet Set Radio, Shinobi, Golden Axe, Streets of Rage, and Crazy Taxi. 5 of the most iconic games ever to come out of Sega all have new games in the works.
Yeah, this was like when they kind of did this like culmination release. We were like, oh well, Sega's doing this, that, and the other. I don't even think I was watching the screen at that point. I'm like, oh, yeah, Sega's doing something. And you're like, oh yeah, I mean, Jet Set and this. And I'm like, yo, if they give us Jet Set, and you're like, they are. And I look and I was like, oh
There it
shit,
is.
they're giving us Jet Set. Like this is gonna be yeah. This is. I think this is kind of like the sleeper of the Game Awards because like when they dropped this to Golden Axe, bro,
Yeah.
like Crazy Taxi, Shinobi.
Yeah.
I
Streets of
didn't play
Rage.
much Streets of Rage, so
Yeah,
but
these.
all the other four I did, and I'm just like that might take up my time.
Right. I'm just curious to see how these games succeed in today's like landscape because like all of these games appeal to like us and the older generation. Like the younger generations have no tie-ins to any of these games. So that's going to
The
be the
younger
biggest question
generation
mark.
suck.
Next up here on the list was we got to see another trailer for Embark's game known as the Finals. There was a beta last month or a couple months ago, but the game is officially available now. It was shadow dropped at the Game Awards, and you can even play it on PC. So I know a bunch of people have been playing this. Shoot to Win has been diving into it. They said it's a lot of fun. I might have to download it and check it out one of these days as well. And then we got a surprise as well. Like none of these games came in this order, specific order, but this was a surprise because one of the games that had probably one of the biggest, greatest redemption arcs of all time, that belongs in the best ongoing game category. Period. Like maybe every year if they should, is No Man's Sky, and the developer over at Hello Games showed off their next game known as Light No Fire, and basically it's like you take No Man's Sky's like vastness and you flip it and you turn it inside out and you go the opposite direction. Instead of having this vast massive universe, you have this really big massive planet, and it's like never ending procedurally generated MMO, ambitious open world seamlessly, like there's no loading screens at all. Like he's going to be pushing gaming to the next level with this kind of game.
Yeah, and this I mean, I know when we were watching this, we're like, this looks fucking awesome. This looks like what is this? What are we getting here? And I know since then it's been getting a lot of views and it's been sparking a lot of interest
Right.
from the gaming community. So I can't wait to see
Yeah,
how
and
this
what did I tell you
goes.
before the show? I was reading off like some of the most viewed trailers from the Game Awards, and the number one game was Light No Fire. It had like
Yeah.
4.86 million views on YouTube, and it
Yeah.
beat out like the likes of God of War, which was second place, and then third was Marvel's
Yeah.
Blade. But this was number one. Like a lot of people are really intrigued with this game because No Man's Sky kind of like broke and started setting like standards for video games. Like No Man's
It did.
Sky
Yeah.
is insane, and but like when it released, it was in such a bare bones state. Like it was just like, okay, what do I do? Like I can't do anything. I can't play with friends. What is the purpose of this? And then like as the years went by, like they would start rolling out like 4 massive DLCs to the game that were all free, and the game now is like night and day different than what it was when it first released.
Yeah. So No Man's Sky was definitely like very like tip of the spear, groundbreaking and I hope that they've taken the lessons they've learned from that and put a lot of that into the Light No Fire.
Mm,
And I really hope that they get a chance to succeed on the first try with this
right.
instead of the later DLCs patching and stuff like that. So I mean,
And I,
it
and
looks
I
good. I'm gonna be playing it. I will play it. I 100%.
and I hope they learn from their mistakes because when No Man's Sky first released, it was a PlayStation only exclusive. It didn't come to Xbox and PC until like 2 or 3 years later, or maybe a year or two, whatever it was. But I was just like, that was one of the reasons why I wanted to buy a PS4 at the time, was to play No Man's Sky and to play Forbidden Horizon Zero Dawn. Those are like the two main reasons why I even bought a PS4 to begin with. And then later on, No Man's Sky came to Xbox, and I was excited. So on the shelf behind me, I literally have No Man's Sky for the PS4 and the Xbox, both copies. So obviously that game meant something to me. Haven't played it in a very long time, but maybe one of these days I can pick it up and just see what it is, like how it is now compared to when I did last play it. Let's talk about a PlayStation exclusive here, though, at least for now, because the trailer we saw for the Final Fantasy 16 DLC, where they revealed the next two of them, Echoes of the Fallen and Rising Tide, in small print, it said like the format of this game is like subject to end on like March or something like that. So whether that means it's coming to Xbox and PC or just PC come March April timeframe, we don't know at this time, but it's going to be interesting because by the time those dates roll around, both DLCs will be out. So when it does come to PC and Xbox, they can release like a all complete edition where it includes the DLC as well. But I don't know. Final Fantasy 16 just wasn't doing it for me, especially from all the reviews and whatnot. So we'll see how that goes. Let's talk about one that was kind of a head scratcher, like when the trailer was playing, because like this was Team Ninja's game, and it really looked like Wolong Fallen Dynasty was about to get some DLC, but it was really just the next trailer for Rise of Ronin, which I forgot they announced like last year, and it finally got its release date for March of 2024. So a few months you get a brand new game from Team Ninja, but like it looked eerily similar to Wolong Fallen Dynasty. Did this one pique
Yeah,
interest at all?
it did. The combat looked great. They gave us some gameplay during this trailer. They gave us a lot of gameplay actually during this trailer. It looks good. It definitely gave the Wolong vibes. But I think a lot of games have really started going with that aesthetic, like the Wolong, the Lies of P, the Dark Souls, the Souls
Mm-hmm.
like kind of look and feel. And I think that these guys might have done a really good job with that. I mean, only time will actually tell. But it does look really, really interesting. And I can't wait to see what they do with it.
For sure. Now, a game that I know that pretty much nobody's excited for at this point because the time for this game has come and gone. It's Skull and Bones. It got its release date, I guess, confirmed for the 14th time, like I said earlier, for February 16th, 2024. It might get delayed again, might not. Nobody really cares at this point. And Marshmallow, we were having a conversation during the show live. Was you were like, why don't you just play Sea of Thieves? And I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. But like Sea of Thieves, you actually can get off the boat, get on the island, go explore, have fun. Where like Skull and Bones is strictly boat combat. Like that is it. Like naval combat, and that's it. And I'm just lost. Like you have a pirate game, but you can't be a pirate. Like I'm lost.
I I am excited for Skull and Bones because I actually have a money line. I have like a I have a money line for whether or not it's actually going to come out on the date, and then I have the next leg of that is like, the first one is money line. Will it come out? Next one is what's the over under on the pushback? So I have over 6 months, and then I have a 2027 actual final release date. And if that pays out, we've made it.
Yeah, you'd be golden. You hit big. Um, Next up here was an interesting, like smaller game, um, but it could be big. We just don't know because this game's coming from Don't Nod, though the creator behind like Life is Strange, which is a phenomenal game, and also the recently released game Jusant, which is a game that we talked about where it was like the idea was great, the concept was great, but it was just missing and lacking in a lot of other areas. But they've also had some other success games. You had Twin Mirror, which was great, and Tell Me Why, which was also really great. But their new game is called Lost Records, Bloom, and Rage. Um, so I'm really excited for this one. It's coming to PC, Xbox, and PS5, and a story focused on friends who reunite after 2 decades. So really, really excited for this because the story that you can get attached in some of their games gets really, really deep and emotional. Like you feel for these characters and you understand, and you can sometimes relate to what they're going through as well. So be on the lookout for that. I think that would be a perfect game to come to Game Pass. I'm not trying to throw like any anything out there, but please throw it on Game Pass. I love it when you can
It
do
won't
that.
get played. It
Yeah,
won't get played if you don't.
yeah, it probably won't. It's just like I feel bad for some small games. Like they're probably not, if they don't come to a service anymore. Like they're not likely to succeed as if they did come to like Game Pass or PlayStation Plus.
Well,
Well,
we had spoken about that concept a while ago. Just more like at this point, like the services, like Game Pass, PC Game Pass, all that. Like that's more of just like an arena you get to step into. You kind of get pushed into the mix there, see if your game's successful, if it becomes kind of like a viral hit, uh, and then from there you can become you can pull yourself out of that and become the AAA release type of game.
yeah, yeah, for sure. And but then from the consumer standpoint, like when these kind of games release into Game Pass or PlayStation Plus, is that it removes the risk factor. Like if I spend $20-$30 on this small game, like I play for like the first 10 minutes, you're like, this shit's awful. Like I just wasted money.
Yeah,
Removes that altogether. I spend $15 a month, or I think it's up to $18 a month now for Game Pass Ultimate. You get to try it out. If you don't like it, just delete it off the hard drive. On to the next game.
yeah. And the other side of that coin, maybe it's on its last week of Game Pass, and you're like, oh, I do want to try that, and you love it. Okay, well now people are buying your game. They're
Right.
getting a nice discount because they got it off of Game Pass,
Yeah.
and it's just kind of a win-win.
Yeah. Overall.
Kind of like a proving grounds almost for games that want to games and studios that want to push in to the
Right.
industry with a new game.
Next up here is Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. It got its official reveal, and this is the next game that is part of the Budokai Tenkaichi. Um,
Tenkaichi Budokai.
there we go. Like line of games, and I was like telling you on the show when this was revealed, I was like, I haven't played a Budokai game probably since the PS2 days, since I was playing it on this console here next to me, and it's like maybe it's time to hop back in. Maybe it's not. Only time will tell.
It looked fun, but I think like there's a ceiling when it comes to like the Dragon Ball Z games. Like as far as the fighting goes, like everybody knows the story. You can only replay the story so much. It really depends on if they open up different worlds for different fighting and kind of some universal shifts there. Um, but I mean, meh. I was whelmed, not overly so, but
Yeah,
I was whelmed.
for sure. I tell you what, we were taking bets on who was going to have more advertisement during the show, whether that was Fortnite or Xbox Game Pass, and I'm pretty sure Fortnite won that by far.
Oh, they won. Absolutely. They dumped so much money into the Game Awards,
Yeah, like
and
they,
it's
they
gonna
like
pay off.
they had advertisements, but then they also had like legitimate trailers, and it was for their rocket racing mode that at that time it says it was out tomorrow, so it's out now, and it's basically like Rocket because they own Rocket League, so they brought their cars and their driving mechanics into Fortnite, but then they put it on a track, so like now you're racing, and it's kind of like playing like Mario Kart. You have different abilities and whatnot. And you're trying to get through the race and win. It looked cool. I may give it a try. Why? Fortnite's fucking free. Why not, right?
$3.99.
Free 99. This was a big surprise here on this next game was the developers behind like Ori and the Will of the Wisp and Ori and the Blinded Forest, Moon Studios, revealed that their next game is called No Rest for the Wicked. Had an interesting art style, but it had looks like it had similar like game mechanics and gameplay to their former games, aforementioned games, and it looks really good. They do call this like a Diablo like ARPG, and it says the world has plenty of creatures to fight and treasure to find. It's coming to PC via early access Q1 2024, with the full release later coming on to PC, Series X and S, and the PS5. So be on the lookout for that game. A game that made my top five announcements of the games here is this next one, and this is from the ex BioWare developers, veterans. So the guys who probably made like the original Mass Effect trilogy when the games were really good. Um, Revealed their next RPG, new sci-fi RPG. So same kind of game maybe like Mass Effect, and it's called Exodus. This is the over in development over at Archetype. Entertainment. This is their first game, and the trailer revealed that the players will take the role of the Traveler, exploring the universe while avoiding enemies known as the Celestials. So it had me peaked, and the graphically, this game looked fucking phenomenal. Like
It
I'm
did look
excited.
good.
But one of the comments that Scott, I remember you making during the thing was like, "Man, there's like a lot of sci-fi games, like a lot of space operas, and it's like never ending." And
Yeah.
I was like, "I'm for 'em. Like you had me hooked as soon as you say it's space sci-fi. Like I'm there. Like I love that genre."
No, that's fair, and a lot of people do. There's a big market for a lot of people that love the space exploration, the space storylines. Like, I mean, it's human nature, right? To just be like infatuated with space and be curious about space. So, of course, it was only a matter of time before a lot of people just really start cashing in on that, especially with the hype that was surrounding Starfield and some of the great games that we've had, like Mass Effect, Dead Space, things like that. Like
No Man's Sky.
that's always the No Man's Sky, soon to be Light No Fire.
Yeah.
I mean, that's always been just like a one of the bigger genres there. But like, yeah, I was surprised to see just it was a lot. It was a lot this year, at least for what I've seen. That was my non-professional humble opinion. But yeah, absolutely. But it makes perfect sense uh, because people do love that genre.
Yeah, for sure. Next game here on the list was like a really out there, really out of nowhere, really like what the fuck game is this? And this game is called Big Walk. This is the game from the developers behind Untitled Goose Game. And we were like, man, the world looks really beautifully designed. And then next, you start seeing the characters, and you're like, what? What are we
Walk
doing
around
here?
looking like they cut the neck off of a drinky bird. But this was a sequel to, was it Short Stroll? I think it was,
Short
or
hike, I think. Short
Short
hike.
Hike.
Yeah, and then this is
I
Big
think it
Walk.
was, and then now we have Big Walk. So, because I think I remember Marshmallow saying something about that in the chat while we were watching it.
Yeah, yeah, he did. I do remember he's beaten those games, so maybe he's looking forward to the Big Walk. We'll see how that goes. Next on the list here is another small game that was able to get a highlight or a showcase at the Game Awards, which is really nice that Jeff is able to bring on not only the big AAA but then also showcase these smaller developers. This game is called Kamari. This is from Ukami Nakamura's new studio called Unseen, and their first independent project since leaving Tango GameWorks. And they kind of describe the game as a bright, colorful, gorgeous action game, and you like take on the role of like these warriors or whatever. I don't even know what to really call them yet, but you get to fight like yokai, but you like the only time that you can really view them, I guess, is like through the little lens that they did with their hands. Where like, boom, now I can see the world in that lens. So the concept, the idea, the trailer, even though it's not gameplay, all look really promising, look really good. So this is one of those games that's going to be on my radar where I'm going to be like, I'm following this game, and when it releases, like, did this game really like live up to its hype? And we'll kind of revisit it when that time comes. Speaking of AAA games, though, one of the biggest games in gaming right now, period, is Dead by Daylight. Like it's one of those asymmetric games. You're trying to survive the horror nights and whatnot. It's like 1v3 or one whatever it is, 1v4, and you're just trying to survive like the killer or whatever. But it's getting a spin-off in the form of a single player story focused game from Supermassive Games. So they're very familiar with making these like horror games, and this game is called The Casting of Frank Stone. So definitely going to be a game that I know a lot of people are hyped for. For everybody, if anybody's wondering, like Supermassive Games is known for The Quarry, and then obviously the anthology from like The Devil in Me, House of Ashes, stuff like that. They also helped out with like Little Nightmares 1 and 2, Man of Medan, like a lot of different horror games. Until Dawn, they've helped out with. So they have a ton of experience in this horror genre. So really looking forward to see how that game pans out. But we're sticking along the lines of like horror esque games here because this is also a game that made my top five announced game at the Game Awards because one of the Scott, you said a quote at some point during the show. You were like, it's one of those game like things that you didn't know you needed until it was here or something along the lines of like that.
Yeah,
This
yeah. It was I was quoting Vegeta from Dragon Ball Z Abridged. the Broly movie. Never in my life have I needed something so badly until I have received it.
And Jurassic Park Survival was announced and showcased here, and it's being developed over Interactive, which has me on like the this kind of
You're
scared,
there.
nervous
You're
line
like
because Saber
you're.
Interactive has been like not that great in the news lately.
I think the
Um,
term you're looking for is cautiously optimistic.
yes, very much so. I like it. I like it. Like it a lot. But nonetheless, this game looks really good. It's a first-person Jurassic Park game, um, and
Not starring Mia Khalifa. We did.
right, we did confirm
We
that.
did. We did confirm that
That was really great.
during the
That was
show.
definitely trending on Twitter. Is that Mia
Everybody was
Khalifa?
like, "Is that Mia Khalifa?" We're like, "What the fuck is going on?"
But it is really awesome to see because I'm not sure her ethnicity, but like it's not your traditional like American or like European like person.
I believe
So
she's Palestinian.
it's awesome to see that. But what's interesting though about this game is like it kind of like picks up like right after the first Jurassic Park, and one of the scientists or whatever missed a helicopter, got left on the island, and she's radioing in for help. But until help arrives, she has to survive while being on the island. So it kind of gives you that like Jurassic Park 3 when that little boy was left on the island and he had to survive on that island for 3 or 6 months, whatever it was, until help arrived. That's basically what you're going to be doing in this game. So it looked really good. I was like super excited even to show my fiance Lauren because she's really big into the movies, and I was like, "Yo, you have to check out this trailer." She was like, "That's a game? That looks so realistic." And I was like,
Yeah,
"It looks good."
it looked so good. It did, and it puts you on the receiving end of just like the fear and the horror of being stuck on an island where you know the dinosaurs are out,
Mhm.
and it's just like we haven't had to do this for millions of years. Why do I have to do it right now? This is bullshit.
This is bullshit. Yeah.
This is fucking bullshit.
Why did we not build like safety bunkers or anything to hide out in just in case this happens? But yeah. So really, really looking forward to that. No official release date or anything like that, so we don't know when this game is coming out. But looking forward to that. Next up here was Square Enix was here and they revealed the new game Visions of Mana. So it sticks along the lines of their Mana series, and this is coming to PS5, PS4, Xbox Series X and X, and the PC next year. So that's awesome for anybody a big fan of that. Then another game that didn't make my top five most exciting games, I don't believe so, but this game I'm super excited for from Xbox. And this is Hellblade 2. This game looks fucking great. We've been following it for so long, and they kind of revealed that it is releasing next year in 2024. But we actually got to see some like true gameplay, some combat, and like some more fucked up areas, like how this game is going to handle that whole psychosis. Big part. It's coming to Game Pass day one, and really looking forward to the sequel of one of the greatest games I have ever played. The Game Awards did kick off with Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons remake. This is a game from Joseph Ferris. If anybody is not familiar with that, it's a guy who helped create the games It Takes Two and A Way Out, two of the most critically acclaimed games, and It Takes Two was Game of the Year. This is a game that being remade and it's coming to PS5, X and X, PC on February 28th, 2024. So not that long away. I've actually never played this game, so this is a very, very perfect time to dive into apparently one of the greatest games because it is getting a built from the ground up remake. So looking forward to that one there. A game that kind of came out of nowhere here from 10 Chambers. These are the guys known as from the game Get the Fuck Out. And by the end of the trailer, Scott, I know you were like, man, that was really misleading. Like, I don't know how to feel about this game.
Yeah,
But this game is called Den of Wolves. This is coming from the Swedish developer. They describe it as a techno thriller cooperative heist game. So that'll be really interesting. This is they're going back to their Payday roots because these guys that made Payday 1 and 2. Obviously, we just had Payday 3 released recently, but that wasn't from them. So maybe it'll be pretty cool. I really like the whole like not sci-fi, but like the futuristic like feel to the game, and just it graphically it looked really good, but it was just like non-gameplay trailer. So
yeah. Graphically, it looked amazing, but like they didn't give you much to go off of, and that's what it was like. It was like a weird cyberpunk DLC where you cosplay as Ocean's 11, and it was like I was like I don't know what the hell's going on here. Like I'm not 100% certain, but could be a hit. Who knows? I know I'm not big on the futuristic. I know you are. I know a lot of other people are. Um, I think, I mean, the most futuristic one that I was really interested in was Cyberpunk 2077. Shout out for best ongoing game. But yeah, that's I'm gonna make that dig every single time I can. That was bullshit.
Yeah,
Um, but yeah, I didn't really get much from that, and I was just kind of curious. Like, hopefully, we'll see more and kind of get a better idea of what's really going on there.
yeah, definitely agree. So next up here on the list was Black Myth Wukong. It finally got its official release date. This is a game kind of coming from like a small indie developed studio that's kind of making like a AAA style game. Like this game is going to be massive. It looks great. Um, and it's a fantasy adventure game, and it's coming out August 20th of next year. So 2024 is lining up to be a really, really solid year. Really looking forward to that. This is coming to basically next gen only, including PC over via Steam and the Epic launcher. Um, but we're only time will tell with this game. It's going to be one of those wait and see. Like, is this going to get like the Atomic Heart? Oh, this is great, best new IP, or is this going to be like they dropped the ball on this one? We'll see. One of the games here that had a nice touching connection to it here was a game coming out of EA Originals. This is like where they help smaller studios, like small independent studios, bring their games to life. And game is called Tales of Kenzera Zau. This is coming out April 23rd, 2024. This is described as a stylish looking 2D side scroller coming from Surgent Studios. This one kind of just like it kind of describes the idea that you're tackling the grieving process because the when the developer was on stage he was like this is like how when he lost his dad and he had to deal with like grieving and stuff like that he was trying to like make a game that showed how to deal with that. So it's like one of those mental health kind of games, kind of like how I was talking about with Hellblade 2 was talking about how it ties in with like psychosis. So this is gonna be really cool. But on top of that, it's like set in like that very like African, like it almost reminded me of
Black
Black
Panther,
Panther,
I
yes.
think. Yeah.
And I was like, man, like this looks really good. Like I'm really looking forward to a game like this. It's going to be very emotional driven for sure. Switch is getting a game out next week, or I guess this week in a couple of days. I don't know if we talked about it earlier, but this is they call it a cozy MMO. Palia. It makes its debut on the Nintendo Switch next week on the 14th. So here in a couple of days, and you get to finally play Palia on the Switch because I believe this game is already out for other platforms, if I'm not mistaken.
Mhm.
So that's awesome to see a Switch getting another game. Outlast Trials was announced that it is officially coming to consoles. This is a just a continuation of the IP, the franchise. It's a survival horror game. This time around, it is a multiplayer game. It's coming to PC, PS5, Xbox Series S and X, PS4, Xbox One on March 5th, 2024. So another big game here for 2024. Then we get to see another like smallish kind of game. This one is called Rise of the Golden Isle. This is a follow-up to the indie hit The Case of the Golden Isle, which I've never played before. So maybe I hop into it now because we got a sequel in the works. This one is confirmed to coming to Steam, PS4, PS5, Xbox, all around the Xbox One, Series X and X, and the Switch. Smaller announcement here, but shout out to PlayStation to finally receiving a really solid game that I eventually do want to check out personally. As Dusk Falls, Marshmallow. I'm not sure if you played. I think you might have. I know Roger did beat it already. This is finally coming to the PS4 and the PS5. This is a choice-based like narrative game. But it's coming with like haptic feedback with the PS5 DualSense controller, so that'll be a nice adaptation to that. The art style is very like stop motion, like it seems like they're drawings but like paged together, like watercolor almost. And apparently the story was really good. It's really a smaller story. It's like 4 or 5 hours to beat the game. And I think it also had like a Twitch integration, so like Twitch could also help make the decisions in the game as well. So maybe one of these days we'll give that a go. Another game here that I was kind of excited to see was The Last Sentinel was revealed from Lightspeed LA. This is a narrative-focused open-world game coming from that studio, and it shows off a like futuristic Tokyo. So that was a pretty cool setting because half the time Tokyo almost looks futuristic now, with all its neon, like very cyberpunk-like all the time. But a futuristic Tokyo would be pretty interesting there. A game that I wasn't really excited for. Maybe some other people were, just because like I'm not a huge fan of like the JRPG, the anime style games. And we got another trailer for Zenless Zone Zero, and it got its official release window. It is coming out in 2024 for Windows, PC, and Mac. So this is a computer exclusive, I guess you would say. Another game that got its official release date, which is super exciting. Oh, man, I'm looking forward to this game. I do want to check this out, hopefully with Lunatic Oblivion. I'm not sure how many players you can play up to with, but it is Warhammer 40k Space Marine 2. Got its release date for September 9th, 2024, and it just showed off another trailer of how awesome this game is going to
It
be.
just looks so good. It just looks so damn good. It really, really does. It looks so fucking good.
If you were like, "Is this a Warhammer game?" Yes,
I was
very
like,
much
this
so.
Warhammer? Like before, I was like, before like they got like 10 seconds in, I was like, this is Warhammer.
I was like, "Yes, Space
I was
Marine
like,
2."
what? Like, oh fuck, this is Space Marine. Yes.
How,
We're on the
how
fucking
about we
hype.
talk about another trailer that was kind of like, is this? No, it's not that. And it was Mecha Break. This is a new like mech combat game, and when it was first like the trailer was coming, we were like, oh cool, Gundams is getting a new game or new DLC, and it was like, psych, this game is called Mecha Break. It's not even
You
Gundams.
wish. Yeah. I was like, Anthem 2, Anthem 2, Anthem 2. Is every game is Anthem 2? Oh, this is JRPG. Gotta be Anthem 2.
So this
Gotta
one's
be.
being developed by Season Games, and it's a multiplayer mech sci-fi game. So we'll see how it goes. Next up here is the First Descendant. It's getting a 2024 summer release window. A lot of these games are just giving release windows because you don't know if the game's gonna get delayed anymore. So smart by them. Um, excuse me. You got a new trailer that showed off the third-person looter shooter combat. So we'll see if that turned out to be pretty good because I like that genre of games. So we'll see.
Yeah, the first Descendant kind of had me really, really interested. Super, super kind of hype on that. Hopefully,
Uh,
I mean, if it gets pushed off, that's fine. Like pushing off is, 3 to 6 to 9 months, but suck is forever. So
Next up here on the list was Exoborn. It is described as an open world extraction shooter set in a post apocalyptic United States beset by an extreme weather. This is developed by Shark Mob. And I'm trying to see. It says it's in development both for PC and consoles, and it has both PvP and PvE elements. So, game looked cool, but we'll just see how it kind of follows the development process and see how it turns out to be. Then Guilty Gear Strive was there. They're adding a new character to their roster, Elfelt Valentine. Um, so there's that. Not much to really go on to that. I know Marshmallow. I think you might have played and beat that game because it was on Game Pass. I think it has already come and gone now at this point. But nonetheless, let's go ahead and move on to the next game. Banishers: Ghosts of the New Eden got a new trailer, just showcasing some more of the story and whatnot. Looks pretty cool. They just kind of also showcase like the collector's edition that you can pre-order now if you want. And then you got the first Berserker, Kazan, got its reveal or Kazan reveal trailer. This is a new flashy action game coming to PlayStation, Xbox, and PC. Nothing really to go on there other than its flashy trailer. Looked pretty cool, but we'll have to wait. Did that game pique your interest at all?
it did a little bit, but once again, it was like flashy trailer, super nice. Like I'm like, yeah, it looks good, but as you said before, we really have to wait and see for a lot of these.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Hopefully the hype that we have for some of these isn't misled.
Yeah.
But I think this is one of them. I think I'm hoping that our hype isn't misled because it did look really good. It did look really fun.
Next up here on the list was Usual June. I love the joke that you made. You were like, "This game better release in June because why not?"
Fucking better. I swear to
Um,
God, if it doesn't.
it just has a release window of sometime in 2025. This one is it says a supernatural looking action adventure with cell shaded art style. It looked really good. I'm really excited for it just because it is coming from the developer behind Tunic, the developer is known as Finji, and usually their games are pretty solid. So it'll be like a smaller esque kind of game, and really looking forward to that one there. One we were here, the next one here we were like, what are we even watching right now? And this is the Pony Island 2
Arguably,
Panda
arguably best
Circus.
best release.
Yeah.
Best release.
It says it showed off a creepy atmosphere featured in the Daniel Mullins' new upcoming game. So,
It was very very creepy. It was
because
just it was things you didn't expect to be creepy. They made creepy.
Right. And it was the weird because like you were like in this like realistic looking world and you walked up to the arcade machine and then you started playing and like different things were popping up on the screen and just going crazy and you were like this is really out there. So,
And then the arcade machine was actually jacked
yeah.
and had
Then you had
like
to fight
fucking
then the arcade
mods.
machine
You're
became
like,
a
what the
boss
fuck is
battle.
going on?
Next game here on the list was really awesome to see because they kind of revealed this right after they gave out the best accessibility game because this game is called Harmonium the Musical. It's an upcoming musical narrative adventure coming to Xbox Game Pass day one. This is described from like an energetic 10-year-old Filipina America musician who became deaf at a young age. So like she experiences music different than anybody else does because she can no longer hear it, so she has to be able to like feel it and like see the excitement or different ways to experience. So it'll be a really interesting way, interesting game to check out. And the fact that it is coming to Game Pass day one has me excited because I love these small games that drop into there, and I want to experience this because this again deals with like mental health or just different ways of like how people live life.
Well, yeah, and it was. I remember we were talking about this when this was what one of the, it was like this first or second award to drop, and then they dropped Harmonium on us. And it's an excellent way to be inclusive, but not like in your face. Hey, play this game only because we're inclusive, like or because this, like, this that and the other thing. I think it's a very good take on the main character's like disability and how that plays into the game. I'm actually really excited for this one. And also, shout out to Forza again for winning Best Accessibility.
Yes, sir. The rest of these games on the list here weren't really too exciting, so we'll kind of probably breeze through a lot of these. But Dead Cell Studio Motion Twin revealed that their next game is called Windblown. Looks interesting. It's a 2D roguelike game. No, never mind. It says Windblown has an emphasis on co-op gameplay with fast-paced action, gorgeous anime-esque cutscenes. So not really up my alley, but we'll see for other people. Then we had Thrasher, which was announced. This is the developer behind Thumper. So that's their next game. This is indie dev known as Drool. So we'll see how that goes. And then World of Goo 2 was revealed. I completely forgot about the first one to begin with, and that's probably because it released back in 2008. This is a physics-based puzzle game, and it's coming from 2D Boy and Tomorrow Corporation, the same duo that put out the first game. So awesome to see there. Another like JRPG anime-esque style game, Arknight's Endfield. It looks like it's a PS5 exclusive. It's an action RPG tower defense game. Um, with no official release date or release window, so we'll see how that goes. Not really looking forward to that one. Next up was the Matchless Kung Fu got a reveal trailer, not really detailing anything other than that. It wasn't really exciting, but also another game that doesn't really look exciting was we got a fresh look at Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League, a game
Yeah,
that is
I figured
probably
we were
going to
just
miss
gonna
the
skip
mark.
over that one.
Yeah.
I figured we were just gonna skip over that one.
And as of right now, it is still set to release in February, so it did not get another delay, which is good, but it's still not looking good.
We'll see.
This game should not be a games as a service, but that's another topic for another day. The game known as Ready or Not is getting its version 1 coming out on December 13th, so just here in a couple of days, it is finally leaving early access. This is the Void Interactive's first person shooter. Then Honkai Star Rail got a new trailer for the 14,000th time. So there's that. And then interesting week because we were just talking about these guys a little bit ago, but GTFO is receiving its final update 6 years after the game was revealed on the very same stage, and they're already moving on to their next game, which we've already talked about.
Yeah.
Then we got Asgard's Wrath 2 is coming to MetaQuest on December 15th. I know you were kind of excited about this one because I was like, VR, not really excited for it, but you were like, oh, this doesn't look too bad.
Well, it's not that I was so like excited for it. I'm not gonna run out and
You're
get
gonna.
like the quest. Like I'm not gonna run out and get that shit. But I think my driving home point for that was like we got to start somewhere. Like, and I think that games like Asgard's Wrath 2 and the Assassin's Creed that just recently dropped. I mean, I think the necessity that is required for some of the games there, like to play and be fully immersive and get all that. I think that they're gonna help keep pushing that I wouldn't say genre, but that hardware forward, and the VR community and gamers will benefit from games like the Assassin's Creed and Asgard's Wrath. Like Asgard's Wrath looked awesome as VR. It did look really really fucking cool. I'm
Hmm.
not gonna go buy VR just to play
Yeah.
Asgard's Wrath 2. However, if I had VR hardware, I would 100% be playing that game
Yeah.
immediately.
So it's a must play if you have it, not a game that makes you go get a must have VR headset.
Which I don't think there's any game that's gonna make. There's no game that is a must go get a headset for this. At least not yet
No.
that I've seen.
The only thing that came close was that Darth Vader game that I
Yeah,
wanted to check out. Seemed pretty cool, but because like you play as like a like a captive, like like a prisoner
yeah,
of
kind
Darth
of
Vader.
procedure. Really.
You're like you're on you're in Vader's castle on Mustafar. Yeah, it looks dope. But to round out the Game Awards, you did get Stormgate, which is a StarCraft-like game. I just got a new trailer, so anybody that's big into those style games, got a new one on the way. So that is all of the news from the Game Awards. There's a lot of big games coming out this year and next year, and some games that don't even have a release window. So we definitely have a lot to look forward to. I don't know if any year will top the year that we just had, but only time will tell because I'm pretty sure everyone said that back in 2007.
And big round of applause to Vic for pushing through all 49 of those because that was a list and a half. That was a list at 20, and you've done it twice. So
Yes, sir. Appreciate the shout out. But the news does not stop there. Usually we kick off the gaming news with Xbox, but we just wanted to get right into the nitty gritty with the Game Awards. So let's go ahead and move on to the Xbox news. Baldur's Gate 3 did get shadow dropped onto Xbox after the Game Awards because that was a big miss
and
from the Game
this is so
Awards.
funny because we've talked about this like 4 times. Like we just keep joking about it, like, oh yeah, by the way, when you get home tonight, go download it. Like
Right.
just joking. We're just saying that shit, and
And I called
uh,
it. This was one of my predictions from the beginning of
it's what
the show.
yeah, it's what we were talking about. We're like, yeah, Baldur's Gate's gonna drop on Xbox or some shit. Like they're gonna say, yeah, go home and get it, and we
It
didn't
happened.
hear that. And then one of our viewers there, Toph McGoats, he shout out to him if he's on here. But yeah, he sent me a text and he goes,
It's available
so
now.
like it's a, and I was like, not me getting ready to Venmo you $70 so you can for Christmas. So congrats. And he's like, nope. He's like, I already bought it. It's already installing.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, and then I think I tagged Marshmallow in one of the Lunacy Arts channels because I was like, hey, yo, this shit's available on Xbox. Like, go get it. And
Yeah.
then I saw like maybe like a half hour later, you were like, yo, what the fuck? Like,
Yeah,
they,
it's
they
so
they
crazy.
just dropped it.
And but to dive
Yeah, that
into
was
it though is
amazing.
like Sven, this the
Yeah,
owner of fucking Larian Studios was during his acceptance speech, he was actually supposed to reveal at the end of his speech saying, "Hey, it's available now on Xbox, guys."
go
But
drop it and go home and
but
fucking install that.
he said that in the process because like obviously they got rushed off the stage because they were thanking everyone, they were thanking like the people that passed away before the game could officially release and stuff like that, and they kind of got rushed off the stage, which is another problem that happened at the Game Awards that people were highly upset because like it popped up on the teleprompter, hey, you gotta move on, gotta keep going, like that's it, wrap it up, and it
I
was just
think the
like
only time it was so I would say embarrassing for the Game Awards was I forget who won the award, but it was the guy and the girl that came up and they started accepting it, and he was talking and he was going through his thanks and all that good
mm-hmm,
stuff, and then he backed up so she could come in and start saying something,
mm-hmm,
and he backed up and they just immediately started playing it, and they had to like cut it back off so she could talk. I'm like, dude, that's him. So it's a little embarrassing right there.
yeah,
Everybody's so like they're so gun shy from Christopher Judge from last year.
right, his 8 minute speech was a bit
His
too much
eight
for
minute,
people.
8 minute speech was just a little too long.
But like anything more than 30 seconds now, it's like, whoa, too long. But yeah, that's the reason why we didn't get the announcement during the show because they got cut off because they weren't done thanking everybody and going through the whole emotional spiel. And they were like, yeah, we got to move on. And he was like, yeah, I just forgot because he was kind of upset with that. But
Which realistically, like Game Awards, if you're watching this, which I know you are. Come on now.
yeah,
Um, if you're watching this, like there should be like a tiered system. Like the bigger your prize, the bigger you get
Right. The
at the end of
best
it to like
and
say
biggest
something
award at the show got probably the least amount of time.
like like best family game shouldn't get the same amount, if not more time, than game of the year.
Right. Well, the biggest
Or
question people are having are like, so the people that are actually winning the awards and putting in all the effort aren't allowed to talk that long. But then you bring out these Hollywood actors that can sit there and talk on the stage
like,
for 10, 15 minutes about
don't get
what?
me wrong, I love Matthew McConaughey just as much as the next person, but like if he's just sitting here and talking and says this is another award that you know
Right. And
and he
then
just keeps going and going and going, but versus like
and they
the
were talking about
entire
Hideo
winning studio
Kojima
team
and Jordan Peele just talking like
for
30
fucking
minutes.
20 minutes. It
Of,
was it was 10, yeah, it was 20 minutes and 10 of them was them circle jerking each other.
yeah.
They were
Why
just
was
talking
that
about how
okay?
fucking happy they were to be working with the other person. It's like, do we get it? Like
Yeah.
that's awesome. Where's our fucking playoff music? Because people that win awards and people that already did the work, they need some time to talk.
Yeah. So, next up here for Xbox news is that the Q&A staff over at Xbox Support Studio Ex, Experize
Express?
yeah.
I don't know.
They have voted to unionize, so shout out to them. This is a QA team that's not going to get fired just because. At least they have some kind of protection a little bit. Some other exciting news over at Microsoft because especially amid all of these like layoffs from all these companies, Microsoft is converting 77 contract gaming workers to full time, and they're unionizing them, and they will all receive about a 22% pay increase. So shout out to Microsoft to awarding these individuals and bringing them onto
Yeah.
the team.
And if this proves anything, eat their pizza, enjoy the pizza party, unionize anyway.
Hmm.
Fuck them.
Next up, this one was big. I had to drop this everywhere I could, like on all of my Discord servers. Was Project Shaolin that was kind of announced or rumored or leaked before? Kind of got a lot more details. And this came from Insider Gaming over on Twitter. This is the action RPG game from Xbox in partnership with the Wu Tang Clan. Big surprise, like collaboration there. Who would have thought? This is a third-person melee-oriented four-player co-op game. Um, the game soundtrack is completely done by the Wu Tang Clan, which is awesome. This is all being developed by Brass Lion Entertainment, and apparently in the game, all 9 members of the Wu Tang Clan are playable characters. So awesome to hear. Really excited to see how this game turns out.
That reminds me of the was it Def Jam, the Def Jam fighting game
Mm-hmm.
from ages ago.
Def
It
Jam.
was very reminiscent of that. So I can't wait for this. This is gonna be fun. This is gonna be one of those ones that you just expect to have fun and you do have fun and just go from there.
Yeah, the Def Jam had a couple of them, like Def Jam Vendetta, Fight for New York, Takeover, stuff like that. So yeah, big time games. But yeah, I wonder how this action RPG is going to turn out with Wu Tang Clan. And then that is all the Xbox news, but we had some Xbox game updates. Forza Horizon 5 is getting the Winter Wonderland update. In the game, there will be 4 weeks of winter season, so usually like each week a new season rotates, like it goes summer, spring, fall, winter, whatever. But this time it'll just be winter, 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 winter. Obviously, there's gonna be updated to changes in some game audio, such as like some of the engines are being updated to sound more like what the engine would sound like in the specific car. There's going to be a winter makeover for the stadium. There's 6 new props added to the event labs, new road races, and the Secret Santa is returning. This is kind of like a community event where it started already on December 5th. Players can fill the meter by gifting other players cars, and at 50%, everyone receives the 2022 Gordon Murray Automotive T.50, and at 100%, everyone will receive the 2023 Aston Martin Valkyrie. So work together, fill that meter by
Pretty
gifting
good
cars.
giveaway, not gonna lie. Yeah, just by giving other people cars you don't want. Love
Yeah.
that.
And in the other game, Forza Motorsport is receiving its third update. Comes a new track, the Hockenheim. This also includes the new layout of the track, new cars, new career tour, improved PC performance specifically, but then overall improved stability and performance. So awesome to see there. That is all of Xbox related news. PlayStation was unfortunately in the news again with some more bad stuff.
Well, moving on. It must be a Sunday. It must be some bad news from PlayStation, right? So, customers who had actually bought Discovery movies, if anybody's had the Discovery app on PlayStation, their movies they will lose access to them and will not receive a refund. Uh, so there's some issues going on between Discovery and PlayStation, and Sony actually pulled the Discovery videos from the just PlayStation. They just pulled all of it.
See, this is the
Um,
issues with this. I just want to comment on it and tie it into a greater issue that we talk about very frequently is the fact that everything is going digital, like movies and games and whatever it is. Like physical media is basically not being sold anymore. We've already seen it. Like GameStop is going. I'm not GameStop. Walmart, Best Buy. They're starting to basically say no more physical media. And these are the issues that we're going to run
this is
into
why it's
because
bullshit. This
the
is exactly why it's bullshit.
the digital stores are never guaranteed to stay there. No, you bought it, yeah, okay, we don't care. Close the store, and you don't own it anymore. You can't watch it.
Yeah.
That's
So
my
that
issue.
promise that you were sold if you purchased the Discovery app or if you use the Discovery app and purchase videos, they've shit on you
Again,
again. Uh, that's once again the I'm not gonna beat a dead horse. This is the issue with digital media. All digital media. Go buy your fucking movies. Shit, buy VHSs and then wait for them to skyrocket like vinyls. Go do that shit.
right?
Uh, but yeah, I mean, it's just another just bad story. But we got one more for you if you're here to listen for it. So, PlayStation accounts are actually getting permabanned without warning. They were, they've been restored, but what a monumental just like
Like, what the
why?
fuck happened?
Like
Yeah.
like it's just a monumental what the fuck. You just log in one day, you see your account's permabanned, you're like, what the fuck? All I did was watch Discovery movies. And they're like, yep, that's the problem.
Yep.
You're getting fucking permabanned because you were watching Discovery. So fuck yourself. But they have been restored, but man, like that's a ball dropped hard.
It's like never ending with PlayStation. Like
Yeah, they
between
just
getting
keep
hacked and being shut down and just shit being deleted, your account being banned. Like when does it stop?
when PlayStation does. But you know what? No matter what,
Let's
at
talk about
least it's
some
not
exciting news,
boring.
like the biggest news in
At least
gaming.
it's,
Period.
at least it's not boring. And yeah, when we've been talking about the gaming news, there's an elephant in the room that we've left out, and that's because the elephant was strategically placed right here after PlayStation. And that news is Grand Theft Auto 6. Everyone is so fucking hyped because that trailer leaked online the day before it was actually officially supposed to come out. And then Rockstar had to go and release that shit early. You can see this right here. It is, man,
Absolutely gorgeous.
it looks great, and I think what was done so well in this trailer was all of the references that they've made uh, to actual just Florida life.
Yeah.
So,
Apparently real
uh,
world life because
like, yeah, like, that's
the hammer
like, a
lady
lot
that
of
you see in the
yeah,
trailer is from California
yeah.
apparently.
A lot of these things that you see are just open for so much. Like, also there's a big conspiracy that that girl in the bikini is actually the main protagonist, just like in different clothing, like later on in the game or something, or like a previous before she was in jail. But like most of these, like all of this that you're seeing is really like a real life like references. Like there's like videos of a lady with two hammers like online, like the guy
With the
watering
tattoos
his
on his
garden
face
naked,
too.
the guy with the tattoos on his
Because
face,
interesting
the
enough,
the
I'm gonna
Moto
pause the trailer real
3.
quick. Is that guy actually came out was like, I want paid. You're using me and my likeness in the game. I need paid. So that was funny.
Hey man, gotta try to get that, try to get that buck. But yeah. So uh, stats. Let's talk stats for a second for this fucking trailer. This trailer had 60 million views in 12 hours. And as of the beginning of this podcast, actually, we were talking about it right before we went live, it had 139 million views in 6 days. That is outrageous. How outrageous is it? I'm glad you asked. Because this trailer has broken 3 Guinness World Records. This trailer has most viewed game reveal on YouTube in 24 hours, and that was at 90.4 million views. It has the most liked video game trailer ever. That's not last 24 hours, last 6 days. That's ever on YouTube, and that is 8.9 million likes.
Which is up to
And
10
then
now.
it's up to
10.2
10
or
now.
whatever. Yep.
It just keeps going. And then now we have most viewed YouTube video in 24 hours that is not a music video, mind you. That for some reason music just still is in a league of its own.
Yeah.
Uh, and it's just outrageous. Well, this trailer broke the internet. This reminds me of when Budokai dropped live during one of our shows, and everybody was just going apeshit for it. And this is just
Yeah.
that was a small like firecracker, and this is an M80.
Yeah.
This thing just blew up immediately, and everybody is so hype. And honestly, nobody really can wait for it. The only people who have to wait for it though are gonna be PC players like myself, because this will only be coming to PS5 and the Xbox at launch, and then PC will follow.
Yeah, which just follows suit because with GTA 5, it was
Yeah.
18 months I think in between console and PC launch. So I don't know why. I wish Lunatic was here to talk about it because we were actually going back and forth in the Discord channel, and I was like, it makes like I feel like why because they want people to actually experience the base game like the actual story because when PC comes onto the scene, I'm sure there's going to be infinitely amount of mods RP servers, whatever it is. Like, because I'm sure we're also going to see an
It's
update to
broken or get fixed,
like they're also
things
going
like
to
that.
update GT Online. However, that's going to play out. Like, this is going to be the biggest game, period. I think,
Yeah, and I will agree with
and
that
especially
because
if they
this is
re-release it at least 3 times in 10 years, like Skyrim.
3 times in 10 years.
Or
That's
actually, it might
pretty
be
nice.
more. I forget how many times they
I think it
re-released it.
was 10 times in 10 years.
Each year got a new reveal.
Here's the 1 year anniversary. Here's the 2 year anniversary. Here's the special edition. Here's the
Yeah.
1 year anniversary of the special edition. 1 year anniversary of the original edition. Yeah, there's
So moving on here though to a much 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 smaller game. This game is called Open Roads, and this is a new game announced from Annapurna Interactive, and everybody knows I'm a huge fan of the Annapurna games. This is a game coming to Xbox, PlayStation, Switch, and PC on February 22nd, 2024. This one here says Tess and Opal embark on a road trip through their family's past and uncover lost memories and secrets. This features like prominent actors known as Kerry Russell and Caitlin Dever. So I did want to play the trailer up on screen just so you guys can um, see the game, where we can skip through her talking a little bit. Because you're not going to hear, because I don't want to play sounds that get hit with any copyright strikes. But art style seems very Annapurna-esque. It actually reminded me of like Road 96 in a way, especially like with the driving and the whole road trip and idea. But they're just talking about like the connection between like I think it's mother and daughter, and they're kind of just going through different memories from their family. And it looks really cool. Different gameplay elements. You're kind of trying to discover and figure out kind of what's going on. Um, so really excited for this. Again, please, please, please throw this game on the Game Pass if it's not already going to be coming to Game Pass because it's going to be a huge success if they do so. Um, oh, Game Pass Day 1, never mind. Right there it is. Right at the end of the trailer. I must have missed it when I first watched it. But going to be a game that I check out. Best believe that.
absolutely.
Um, Not only was that game announced, but another small game that was announced, and I really wanted to highlight this because this is a sequel to a game that I beat earlier in the year, a game that came out, or a game that I beat around when Jedi Survivor came out. And I was in the hospital playing this game, and it was a really chill game, really fun game, really different game, and that was Genesis Noir. This is the sequel called Nirvana Noir, and this is just a cosmic adventure across inner space as opposed to outer space. It says become your own existential threat and put out the fires of eternity. So I'm gonna get that a trailer up on screen as well because if the first game wasn't trippy enough, this game is also going to be even more trippier. As you can see, this was kind of like the art style from the first game, black and white, very noir style, right? Hence the name. But apparently, there's going to be this second world where it's very colorful, and that's the Nirvana. So you'll be able to explore the world both in the Genesis style, the black and white, and in Nirvana style, the very colorful. And mind you, this game is played just like this, so it's like it's a very very interesting game, and you're a detective trying to solve the moral of the story. I don't want to spoil anything because it's very important to figure out what he's trying to solve. Highly recommend it. Genesis Noir was on Game Pass. I'm not sure if it still is, but this is also dropping day one into Game Pass, so that's a big win for Xbox.
It does look pretty interesting. Yeah, as far as the gameplay goes and stuff like that. Like, yeah,
It's a game I didn't expect to like really enjoy, and but it just is a really
yeah,
nice
go
chill
ahead.
game.
Yeah,
Skip through the rest of this trailer, but yeah, definitely an overall great experience. Coming soon, Game Pass, Xbox. So I don't know if it is coming to PlayStation at all. That has not been confirmed or denied.
love that.
But Scott, if you want to round out our gaming news, we're just with some quick updates to some of the other games that had some
Yeah,
updates.
so got three quick updates for you here, and this is something we might be doing like towards the end of shows, just quick updates, things that we didn't want to get too deep into the weeds to, like you have seen that we are so often wanting to do. Like a Dragon, the man who erased his name in English dub is coming in December. It is going to be a free update. Avatar: Frontiers of Pandora, that's been reviewing pretty well, usually about 7 to 9 range. And it's confirmed that a 60 frames per second mode and crossplay co-op is coming down the road.
So it sounds
So
like I
waiting to
should
see
wait.
from that.
I should wait and play the
So
game.
wait,
Wait and play the
waiting for
game.
that. And then last here we have Fortnite. Where Lego Fortnite. I know people that have been playing that have been loving it. Fortnite Rocket Racing, which we've talked about earlier on in the episode, and we've seen at the Game Awards. And then we have Fortnite Festival.
Which is the big
Will
one.
be will be the big one coming here soon, if not out already.
Did you see what
And
Fortnite
we're
Festival is? Basically,
yes,
it's basically Guitar
it's
Hero or Rock Band, but in Fortnite.
yeah,
And they're
it's
adding
yeah.
support to the Rock Band like controllers
Yeah.
for it.
So get in there, play some fucking Freebird, and when yeah, it's just lots of stuff coming for Fortnite. Always the best ongoing game in my opinion.
I agree.
Um, it's just it's just not as good as Cyberpunk 2077.
Yeah, with its one DLC.
With its one DLC, and I guess continuing to fix the game is
His best ongoing.
continuing support. So technically you're continuing to put things out for it, I guess. Because Fortnite shouldn't have won this at all. Because Fortnite doesn't bring anything new every other fucking week, ever.
Right.
But that does conclude our quick updates.
Yes, sir. So let's go ahead and move on to our leaks and rumors. Not much here, but we do got one for you. So, Scott, the news is never ending here with PlayStation and Sony, because this is some unfortunate, sad news that is probably true, but this has something to do with their Bungie's studios, and everyone knows that Bungie's acquisition from Sony, they still operate as like an independent like studio, basically just owned by Sony, but that status is apparently in jeopardy due to not meeting financial targets, and it says Sony could take control of Bungie, and the Bungie that we know it could cease to exist, and that's just really bad for gaming because Bungie was the guys who brought us Halo and Destiny. Like these guys are really great at what they do, and maybe their leadership just needs some shakeup. But like complete takeover from Sony from a company that's not doing so hot has me
Can't wait to
scared.
watch them run that shit into the ground. So yeah, I would say it's not a total loss because part of me wants to say this isn't the Bungie that we really knew. But with the like you said, the Halo, like that was our first look at Bungie when we were all still in diapers. Well, you guys were. I was driving a car because I'm much older. Um,
What, by like a
but
year?
by the yeah, I don't know. You guys are always picking at me. Come on now. I don't know. I think I'm like 5 years older than you. But I'm not 100% confident that this is gonna be the Bungie that made Halo and Destiny. Like, yeah, sure, like it's Destiny is still very, very close to this as far as timeline is concerned, but I'm not convinced that it's gonna be the same Bungie.
Yeah.
When if Sony does take it, because I would like to think that those people have found other jobs elsewhere, knowing that Sony is gonna run that shit into the ground.
I would hope so.
Because they're gonna give it their best effort to make it successful. So we already know that shit's gonna be 6 feet
Six
in
feet under
a year and a half.
and cease to exist. Yeah, man. But yeah, that's all of our leaks, rumors, gaming news, industry news, everything we got for you guys this week. So we do want to thank everyone who did check us out live today here on Twitch, and then anyone who does check us out later on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. But Scott, where can the community find you at?
As always, you can find me here on Sundays doing this podcast and the occasional game awards. If you want to find me anywhere else, you can find me on Discord. My name is Scoby1. There's no numbers after that. If you want to play some games, BattleNet, Scoby1. My numbers are 11780. And if you just want to kind of take a peek into my personal life, see what I'm up to, maybe DM me, see how I'm feeling about certain games, or send me some hate mail. My Instagram is Scoby1.
And everyone, you can check me out at Twitter at Mr. Never Chillin underscore Threads is Mr. Never Chillin. Xbox is X Never Space Chillin. If you want a game, party up, hit me up there. Facebook is Vic Brubacher for any questions, concerns, or even if you want to come on the show, slide in the DMs there. And I do stream over on my Twitch at twitch.tv/Mr. Never Chillin, where I am currently playing through Sea of Stars on stream, and hopefully going to get over to Alan Wake 2 or Spirits of the North, I think, is another small game that I did want to check out on stream. But we'll see how that goes. But we do want to thank everyone again. And until next time, peace.
Later, guys.
Press start podcast.